I knew I wanted to buy a Tesla, so I wanted to put myself in the position of manifesting a Tesla when I was ready. So I went to the dealership and I test drove all the Teslas. I test drove them all. I wanted to see what they feel like. I wanted to visualize myself driving it. I wanted to see what they look like. Which one do I look better in? Which one do I like? What color do I like? Just really putting myself into position. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about manifesting today. And if you know me, that is one of my favorite subjects. So I'm excited. I'm excited to share with you how I manifested some really dope things in 2022, how I manifest just in general. I have been manifesting and being really intentional about manifesting for the last 6 years. And what really changed my life and started this whole journey for me is the book, The Law of Attraction. And it talks about how the things that you think and say show up in real life, right? And if you are religious, in the Bible, they say life and death is in the power of the tongue. So that's just basically saying like your words are extremely powerful. Our words are powerful. Our minds are powerful. We are very powerful beings. All of us, each and every one of us. And we definitely all have different circumstances and different limiting beliefs that might hold us back. But as someone who grew up poor, the oldest of 4 with a single mother in Alabama, I know what it looks like to not have access to a lot of things, not have access to a lot of resources, but making the best of the things that are around you. So I'm going to be sharing 8 ways that I manifest the things that I want in life. A few of the things that I was able to manifest in 2022 was my move to LA. If you've been following my channel, you know I moved to LA a few months ago. I didn't plan on moving to LA at the top of 2020. I knew that my lease was gonna be up soon and I wanted to move. So I just basically put a high-rise apartment on my vision board. But my apartment here in LA literally looks almost identical to the one that I put on my vision board. So I'm gonna show y'all that later. Another thing that I manifested in 2022 was my Tesla. A Tesla is one of my dream cars, and probably back in 2015 or 16, I put on my vision board that I wanted a Tesla X. I actually didn't end up going with the Tesla X since I decided to move to LA because the cost of living in LA is very expensive compared to other cities in this country, and I just didn't want to stretch myself too thin by going with the Model X. And really, I don't need all that room. It's just me. But I'm still so pleased with my selection and that I was able to get a car that I love. The very first thing that I manifested in 2022 was my Amex, my American Express Platinum cards. I have a business one and a personal one. That's something that I wanted to do. Amex Platinum is one of the best cards that you can have. It has so many perks, so many benefits. So I've been loving utilizing that all year. And then honestly, I just manifested a lot of great people into my life. So great clients, great friendships, and that is something that I'm always focused on. So I'm gonna share the 8 ways that I manifest. Okay, so the number one thing that you need to do if you are trying to manifest is to show gratitude. So showing gratitude is going to put you on a frequency to receive. God does not want to give you more if you do not appreciate what you already have. Why would God give you a better car if you don't take care of the car that you currently have and you call it a piece of shit every time you get into it? Why would God give you a better job when you go to work late, you roll out of bed, you look sloppy, you don't put any effort into your job, you do the bare minimum? Why would God give you better friendships when you're not a good friend? You don't answer the phone, you do not celebrate birthdays, you do not check in on your friends, you're not intentional. Showing gratitude is really important because it reminds you that the things that you have now are once things that you used to pray for, and it reminds you to take care of those things. In 2023, I'm going to be utilizing something called the Gratitude Journal. And I've always done this. I've always wrote down what I was grateful for, but I've never put it into like an actual journal. I just use like a notebook or something and I write it there. But this one is a little bit more organized. And it has slots for day and nighttime so that you can like review at the end of the day. So if you're interested in something like this, I will post the link below. But yeah, it's gonna be really hard to receive the things that you want. You're constantly complaining and not showing gratitude for the things that you already have. The two things that you want to do to manifest your desires is to remove any negativity. And usually the negativity is other people, whether that's family members, friends, whatever the case may be. I actually lost my best friend from middle school when I decided to become an entrepreneur. And I think that we were just, you know, growing apart anyway. We just didn't like desire similar lifestyles. We didn't really have much in common anymore. But she was extremely negative. So I knew that I had to distance myself from her so that it would not taint my mindset and instill any doubt into me and the things that I wanted to do. The thing about it is you can love someone and they're being negative. And 9 times out of 10, when someone is being negative, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them and their own personal insecurities, and they are just projecting that onto you. So in this situation, it is okay to love people from a distance, because if you are taking in someone else's negativity, you get around them, they're in a bad mood, they're complaining, you try to tell them your dreams, they're like, oh, that's not gonna happen, you're not gonna do that, da 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 da. You need to go ahead and part ways, because it's gonna be damn near impossible to really manifest your desires when you are surrounded by negativity. Number 3, be specific. If you want to buy a home, don't just say like, oh, I want to be a homeowner. I think that's really great to say, oh, I want to be a homeowner, but say, I want to be a homeowner in this neighborhood, in this city. I want my house to cost this much. Like, be as specific as possible, because that helps you to manifest as well. Number 4, and this is probably the most important part of manifesting, and that is letting go of the how and the when. When we decide that we want something or we have a desire in our heart, we have to now give it to God, put it out in the universe, and let the universe do its thing. If you try to control, or if you're constantly thinking about how is this going to happen, when is it going to happen, you're going to drive yourself crazy, and you're going to also push it away. Because when you have faith, you give it to God and you let God do his thing. You don't try to control the outcome. So I'll use the Tesla as an example. When I put the Tesla on my vision board in, I think like 2016, I didn't know when I was going to be able to buy a Tesla. I didn't know how I was going to be able to buy a Tesla. I didn't even have any money, you know, but I knew that it was going to come to pass. And it did. It took 4 years. Was that 4 years? 2016? No, it took 6 years. But it happened. So it is what it is, you know, and during that time I was loving my Honda. I still miss my 2010 Honda Accord. It was a great car and I miss it. But I'm super grateful for the car that I have now as well. Another example for me is business. I have had the goal of running $1 million business since I got started. Never knew how, never knew when. I just know that I want to run a $1 million business. So I haven't hit it yet, but there is no doubt in my mind that it's going to come to pass, right? But when you decide that you want something, you need to put it out there and not try to control when it's gonna happen or how it's going to happen, because 9 times out of 10, it's gonna happen when you least expect it and how you least expect it, just like life. Number 5, get excited. Like, it's crazy how many people live life every day just stressed and overwhelmed, and like, just relax. Relax and get excited. Like, every single day, I might not have my $1 million in the bank account right now, but in my spirit, in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, I have $1 million. So every morning I'm gonna wake up excited, like I have $1 million. I'm gonna talk to people like I have $1 million in my bank. I'm gonna move and treat myself like I have $1 million in the bank. So that's how you should look at everything. Get excited, because when you are excited, when you're happy, again, you're on a high frequency to receive. Why would God give us anything if we are miserable, if we're like, I think it's gonna happen, it might happen, I don't know if it's gonna happen? No, you need to be excited and expectant that it is happening, things are working, and you are being prepared. The number 6 thing that I do to manifest the things that I want are daily affirmations. Can't stress this enough. I've been doing affirmations for the last 6 years, and they are so powerful because what they're going to do is reprogram your subconscious mind. A lot of people don't know, but we are running on our subconscious mind 90% of the time, meaning that you think you are in control of your actions and what you think and what you do, but you're not. You're running on autopilot, and our subconscious mind is developed from birth until 8 years old. So everything that you see, your environment, everything that you hear is what you watch on TV, what you listen to, that is programmed into your mind as a child. And a lot of people still carry those same beliefs into adulthood if you don't acknowledge it and if you do not work intentionally to change your thoughts. For example, if you're raised in a household where your mom and your dad were very overprotective and they didn't let you do anything, they were very strict, they worried about everything, you are either probably very rebellious or more than likely probably a very anxious person. You probably worry a lot. You are probably a perfectionist, scared to take risks, because that is the type of environment that you were raised in. And that's a majority of what you heard when your subconscious was being developed as a child. So as an adult, you have to reprogram those negative thoughts and program them with a new thought. I also learned this in therapy. My therapist, whenever I would say something negative, for example, if I say something like, I hate my body, I will never look the way that I want to look because I just do not have good genetics. Way to reframe that would be, I love my body, it is so strong, and I see it transforming every single day. So the first step is obviously like acknowledging those negative thoughts. And then the second step is reframing those negative thoughts and then reprogramming your subconscious mind so it is what you think automatically instead of something negative automatically. Okay, so number 7, you want to make sure that you put your vision board and the things that you want to manifest somewhere that you can see it. So your computer screen, your phone screen, next to your bed, wherever, so that you can see these things every day. You see things every day and you experience things every day, it now normalizes that for you. When you see things often, you are now reprogramming your mind to normalizing seeing that thing and having that thing. So it's really important to make sure that you can see the things that you want to manifest. And last but not least, you need to get into position. This is probably the most powerful way to manifest, is getting in position. So I'm gonna go back to my Tesla. A year ago, before I bought my Tesla, and I knew I wanted to get it, but I wasn't really quite ready to spend the money. Honestly, I loved not having a car payment. It was great. I loved it so much. I knew I wanted to buy a Tesla, so I wanted to put myself in the position of manifesting a Tesla when I was ready. So I went to the dealership and I test drove all the Teslas. I test drove them all. I wanted to see what they feel like. I wanted to visualize myself driving it. I wanted to see what they look like. Which one do I look better in? Which one do I like? What color do I like? Just really putting myself into position. A lot of people do this with like home ownership as well. They will go and drive through the neighborhoods that they like, and they'll say, I want a house in this neighborhood, right? You're putting yourself in position. Let's say you run a business, you're an entrepreneur like me, and you say, oh, I want to make better connections, I want to make more money. Then that means you need to be putting yourself into places where you can make better connections, network, meet new people. Same thing with dating or meeting friends. Put yourself out there. Get in position to receive. You cannot receive sitting on your couch. The things that you want are not just going to magically appear. You have to put yourself in position. So I'm going to show y'all exactly how I put together my vision board for 2022. So keep watching. Okay, y'all. So in 2022, I decided to do a digital vision board. This is different than what I usually do because I usually just do a regular physical vision board on like a poster board or something. And I love those. I have mine in storage right now that I've been making for like, again, I've been doing these for 6 years. So, I love that I can like go back and look at them, but this is a really cool way to do it because you can put this as your computer screen. You can put it as your iPhone cover. I have it on mine. I just created a copy and made an iPhone version. So I look at this stuff every single day, the things that I want to manifest. So this is how I broke mine down. I just have images of the different things that I want to manifest in my life. So I run a digital marketing agency, and my goal for 2022 was 500K in agency revenue. I wanted to get out more, go hiking, things like that. Wanted to manifest a beautiful high-rise apartment, which is something that I did this year. I've been doing lots of hiking this year here in LA and in California. I wanted to manifest a new car, and I did, my Tesla. I also wanted to get some brand partnerships, which is something that I'm working on. I did work with some brands, but not these specific brands. And I'm not super tied to the actual brand that I work with. However, these are some brands that I would love to work with, like MasterCard, Planoly, Business Insider, Blavity, Olipop, things that I love. I also have a image here of food because I want to eat clean and healthy. I have some wedding rings, engagement rings, because I am open for love. So that's definitely something I want to manifest. I'm trying to grow on TikTok and build my brand awareness there. I wanted to do more podcast interviews, wanted to build my team. And then I wanted to get an Amex Platinum for my business. And I actually ended up applying at the very top of the year. So January, this was the very first thing that I manifested was my personal and business Amex Platinums. So if you know what the Amex Platinum is, it's a great card for points and travel and has so many perks and benefits to it. So love it. I have been enjoying that this year. This is how I broke down my goals though. I decided to break down my goals into different categories. You don't have to do this many categories, but if you want to keep things organized, it is really helpful. So these are the 10 categories that I broke things down into. Again, you don't have to break yours down into this many categories, but that's what I did. So I have my career goals that I want to hit. This includes like my my brand awareness on different platforms and all that good stuff because again I am in marketing and I have a personal brand. My fitness goals, so I kept those pretty simple. I didn't want to like overwhelm myself with goals or overwhelm myself with things to do and then just not do them, because when it comes to fitness I have to be there. I have to take baby steps and I just try to jump into it because I'll get burnt out really quickly. So start Pilates, I did that. Move 30 minutes a day, whether that's like walking or whatever. I did that most of the time. And then my overall goal was to lose 20 pounds. I think I lost at least 10 pounds this year. So would love to lose, honestly, like probably another 20 pounds in 2023. We'll see. Personal development. So I want to read one book per week. This includes audiobooks, so that's really easy to do. Therapy, gratitude journal, have that. Meditation, daily, networking. I do pretty much all of those anyway, but it's just a good thing to like, revisit. My spiritual goals, meditate daily, follow a morning and night routine, journal 5 things I'm grateful for daily. Educational goals, I wanted to learn government contracting. I didn't get around to this because I was so busy. So this will be transferring to 2023. Improve my marketing techniques. Definitely have improved a lot. I've learned some new things. So that's exciting. And then improve public speaking. I didn't spend a lot of time improving or working on my public speaking, but it is something that I want to prioritize in 2023. Relationships, I wanted to make sure that I was dating intentionally, to start a serious relationship, create a better relationship with my mom, nurture my current friendships, meet new people, and then nurture the relationship with my siblings who I love so much. So that is how I broke things down. Again, you can choose which 10 you want to focus on, if you want to do all 10, if there's other things that are more important to you. But this just makes it really easy to visualize, map things out, and then refer back to again and again. So I haven't done my 2023 one yet, but I'm going to work on that sometime this week. Okay, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this video and that it was helpful. If you have any questions about manifesting, let me know. Again, it's my favorite thing to talk about, favorite thing to do, and I feel like I am pretty good at it at this point in my life. So yeah, leave a comment below. I'm gonna leave the link to the gratitude journal and some other things that I love down below as well. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this, and also comment below and let me know what you want to see. And I'll see you next time.